Hello, friends. If you're curious about the movie Edward Scissorhands from 1990, you're in the perfect place. Don't forget to give this video a quick like, it really helps us out. And if you're new here, hit subscribe to stay updated on all the latest movie deep dives. Let's jump right in. From the very first moments, the film unfolds like a delicate fairy tale whispered through the lens of a dream. A story that is as much about the shimmering magic of innocence and creativity as it is about the sharp edges of isolation and difference. It opens a door to a suburban world, one that feels both familiar and eerily surreal, where the pastel hues of perfectly manicured lawns and cookie-cutter houses mask an undercurrent of longing and quiet despair. Within this meticulously crafted backdrop, a unique figure emerges, a gentle soul stitched together by whimsy and wonder, yet burdened by a loneliness as sharp as the blades that replace his hands. This is a tale that dances gracefully between fantasy and poignant reality, exploring themes of belonging, acceptance, and the bittersweet nature of human connection. The story invites viewers into a world where creativity becomes both gift and curse, where beauty is found in unexpected places, and where the quest for love and understanding drives a boy whose very hands set him apart. It's a journey filled with moments of tender kindness, whimsical charm, and inevitable heartbreak, a cinematic fairy tale that captivates the heart as much as the eye. At the center of this narrative is a character unlike any other, created by an eccentric inventor who imbues him with life but leaves his masterpiece unfinished, his scissor hands a symbol of both artistic brilliance and tragic incompleteness. This boy, with his wild hair, pale complexion, and eyes full of curiosity, steps tentatively into a world that is both wondrous and frightening. He is discovered by a kind-hearted woman who brings him into her pastel neighborhood, and suddenly, his quiet existence is transformed as he encounters the warmth, suspicion, and complexity of human life. As he navigates this new world, the film explores the duality of innocence and otherness. His extraordinary talent for sculpting hedges and creating ice sculptures turns him into a neighborhood sensation, a living artist whose gifts enchant and astonish. Yet beneath this marvel lies a profound solitude. His inability to fully connect, his hands both tools of creation and barriers to touch, casts a shadow over his growing relationships. The story unfolds with moments of joy and enchantment, but also with a simmering tension born of fear, misunderstanding, and the cruelty that often greets difference. The narrative weaves a delicate balance between whimsy and melancholy, painting the suburban setting as a place of both idyllic charm and suffocating conformity. The neighbors, initially intrigued and welcoming, gradually reveal their complexities, their jealousy, gossip, and intolerance, transforming the community from a haven into a place of conflict. These shifting dynamics underscore the film's meditation on society's ambivalence toward the unfamiliar, the tender balance between acceptance and rejection. Love emerges as a central, aching theme. The boy's silent bond with the woman who first welcomed him grows into a fragile connection that transcends words, hinting at the universal human desire for companionship and understanding. This relationship, tender and tentative, forms the emotional core of the story, grounding its fantasy elements in raw, relatable emotion. Yet, the fragility of this connection reflects the larger tensions at play, the challenges of bridging worlds divided by difference and fear. The film does not shy away from its darker undercurrents. Moments of violence and misunderstanding erupt, catalyzing a turning point that shifts the narrative toward inevitable tragedy. The boy's difference, once a source of wonder, becomes a focal point of fear and scapegoating. These events propel the story toward a climax that is as heartbreaking as it is inevitable, a poignant reminder of the costs borne by those who live on the margins. Visually, the film is a feast of contrasts, the stark gothic beauty of the boy's isolated castle against the pastel uniformity of suburbia, the sharp, metallic edges of his hands against the softness of human skin and emotion. This visual poetry enriches the narrative, making every frame a study in dualities, light and shadow, beauty and danger, acceptance and alienation. Prepare to be drawn into a story that feels like a modern myth, a timeless exploration of what it means to be human in all our flawed, beautiful complexity. It's a tale that enchants and unsettles, inviting us to see beyond appearances and to recognize the delicate artistry in imperfection and difference. Let's delve deeper into this cinematic journey, where whimsy and sorrow entwine, and where every moment pulses with the tender, aching heart of a boy with scissors for hands. The story begins in a world of gentle contrasts, a realm where fantasy softly brushes against reality, where the extraordinary emerges from the ordinary, and where a lonely figure steps hesitantly into a suburban landscape painted in pastel hues. From the outset, the film establishes a fairy tale atmosphere, introducing us to a tale that feels both timeless and deeply human. It begins with the discovery of a mysterious mansion perched on a hill, its shadow looming over the neatly trimmed lawns below. This castle, gothic and isolated, is the domain of an eccentric inventor who has spent his life creating wonders in solitude. Within this fortress of invention, the inventor's latest and most remarkable creation is revealed: a boy, not quite finished, with hands replaced by a set of delicate, gleaming scissors. This striking image is both beautiful and tragic, encapsulating the central tension of the narrative: a being who is both gifted and incomplete, whose very nature sets him apart from the world he longs to know. The inventor's sudden death leaves the boy alone, his fate uncertain, until he is discovered by a kindly Avon saleswoman named Peg, whose compassion becomes the key to his entry into society. Peg's decision to bring the boy into her suburban neighborhood marks a turning point, a moment where fantasy and reality collide. As he steps out of the shadows of the castle into the bright, structured world of suburbia, the film immerses us in a community defined by sameness and routine. The neighbors, clad in matching clothes and living in uniform houses, represent a stark contrast to the boy's wild hair, pale skin, and extraordinary hands. Yet, their initial curiosity and warmth toward this strange newcomer hint at the possibility of acceptance and belonging. As the boy, given the name Edward, begins to navigate this new environment, the film carefully unfolds his journey of discovery and connection. His awkwardness and innocence are palpable. He moves through the neighborhood like a curious child, marveling at the sights and sounds, and eager to interact despite his limitations. The scissors that replace his hands, while beautiful and intricate, also make ordinary tasks difficult and create barriers to physical touch, a poignant metaphor for his outsider status. One of the earliest and most enchanting developments is Edward's discovery of his unique talent for sculpting and artistry. Using his scissor hands, he transforms ordinary hedges into intricate sculptures, carves delicate ice formations, and styles hair with unexpected skill and creativity. This talent quickly draws attention and admiration from neighbors, turning Edward into a local celebrity and infusing the neighborhood with a touch of magic. These moments are bathed in soft light and gentle music, reinforcing the film's fairy tale quality and highlighting the transformative power of art and difference. Amid this rising fascination, the film introduces the complex social dynamics of suburban life. The neighbors, while initially welcoming, begin to reveal undercurrents of jealousy, suspicion, and conformity. Their polite smiles often mask a deeper discomfort with Edward's otherness. Gossip and petty rivalries simmer beneath the surface, setting the stage for conflict. The film deftly captures the paradox of community, a place where acceptance and exclusion exist side by side, and where the fear of difference can quickly give way to intolerance. Edward's relationship with Peg's family becomes central to the narrative. Peg's husband is a pragmatic, somewhat skeptical figure, balancing support for his wife's compassion with unease about their unusual guest. Their teenage daughter, Kim, embodies the innocence and curiosity of youth, developing a tentative friendship with Edward that hints at deeper emotional connections. Their interactions offer moments of warmth and tenderness, grounding the story's fantastical elements in genuine human feeling. Through Kim, the film explores themes of empathy, courage, and the transformative power of love. As Edward becomes more integrated into the neighborhood, the film explores his growing awareness of human emotions and social norms. He experiences joy, wonder, and the thrill of acceptance, but also confusion, fear, and rejection. His attempts to understand the complexities of human relationships are touching and sometimes heartbreaking, underscoring his isolation even amid newfound companionship. Scenes of innocent play and creative expression are juxtaposed with moments where Edward's difference becomes a source of misunderstanding or danger. The narrative tension builds as the neighbor's fascination begins to shift into suspicion and fear. Small incidents, Misunderstandings, accidents caused by Edward Scissorhands, rumors spread by envious or fearful residents, slowly erode the community's goodwill. The film captures the fragility of acceptance and the ease with which kindness can turn to cruelty. This shift is marked by subtle changes in tone and atmosphere, moving from the soft whimsy of the early scenes to a growing sense of unease. A particularly poignant sequence involves Edward's deepening bond with Kim, who begins to see beyond his outward strangeness to the gentle, artistic soul within. Their connection is fragile yet profound, marked by unspoken affection and mutual discovery. These moments are tender and intimate, emphasizing the film's exploration of love's ability to transcend difference. However, this relationship also becomes a flashpoint for neighborhood tensions, illustrating the challenges faced by those who dare to embrace the unconventional. The arrival of Jim, Kim's boyfriend, introduces another layer of conflict. His jealousy and insecurity contrast sharply with Edward's innocence and kindness, fueling misunderstandings that escalate the neighborhood's suspicions. Jim's actions and attitudes serve as a catalyst for the community's growing division, highlighting themes of fear, prejudice, and the destructive power of envy. This dynamic intensifies the narrative's emotional stakes, propelling the story toward its inevitable turning point. Throughout this phase, the film balances moments of light-hearted charm with undercurrents of melancholy and foreboding. The vibrant colors and whimsical music accompany scenes of joy and creativity, while shadows lengthen and tension simmers beneath the surface. The visual storytelling uses contrasts between the gothic, wild beauty of Edward's castle and the sanitized, uniform suburbia, between the sharp edges of his hands and the soft textures of the neighborhood, to deepen thematic resonance. As the first arc nears its conclusion, a series of incidents escalate the conflict. Edward's inability to control his scissorhands during moments of emotional distress leads to unintended harm, exacerbating fears and misunderstandings. The community's veneer of civility begins to crack, revealing deeper prejudices and the precariousness of Edward's place in their world. The narrative sets the stage for a climax that will test loyalties, challenge perceptions, and confront the consequences of otherness in a conformist society. In essence, this opening segment is a masterful blend of fairy tale and social commentary, weaving together the magic of creativity and the pain of isolation. It draws viewers into a world where beauty and danger coexist, where kindness and cruelty are two sides of the same coin, and where a boy with scissors for hands struggles to find his place amid the sharp edges of human nature. Through rich character development, evocative settings, and a narrative that balances whimsy with weighty themes, the film crafts a journey that is both enchanting and profoundly moving, a story that lingers long after the credits roll. As the story progresses beyond its initial enchantment and tentative acceptance, the delicate balance that had been forged begins to unravel, and the world around the boy with scissors for hands grows darker, more volatile. The second act unfolds with a mix of beauty and chaos, where moments of tenderness clash against rising fear and misunderstanding, setting the stage for an inevitable and heart-wrenching climax. It is a descent marked not only by external conflict but by internal turmoil, a tragic collision of innocence and intolerance. The neighborhood, once curious and fascinated by Edward's gentle artistry, now becomes a place of suspicion and hostility. Subtle whispers of mistrust ripple through the manicured streets, fueled by envy and fear. Edward's difference, once a source of wonder, gradually becomes a target. Small incidents, accidental damages caused by his unwieldy scissorhands, misinterpreted gestures, fan the flames of distrust. The film captures this shift with keen observation. Friendly faces harden, gossip spreads, and the fragile social harmony cracks under pressure. Edward's relationship with Kim deepens amid this growing tension. Their quiet moments together become a sanctuary, a fragile refuge where unspoken feelings blossom despite the barriers posed by his unusual hands and the world's harsh judgment. Their connection is marked by a tender innocence, a glimpse of love untainted by prejudice. Yet, this bond also becomes a lightning rod for conflict, especially in the presence of Kim's boyfriend, Jim, whose jealousy and insecurities intensify the neighborhood's unease. The presence of Jim introduces a dangerous dynamic. His antagonism toward Edward is both personal and symbolic, a manifestation of the community's broader intolerance for difference. Jim's increasing aggression escalates tensions, culminating in confrontations that expose the underlying social fractures. This rivalry is a catalyst, turning simmering suspicion into outright hostility, and pushing Edward into situations fraught with misunderstanding and fear. One pivotal incident that propels the narrative toward crisis is a misunderstanding that spirals out of control. In a charged moment, Edward is accused of wrongdoing he did not commit, leading to a violent altercation that shatters the fragile peace. The community's collective fear and anger crystallize into a force that turns neighbor against neighbor, friend against friend. This moment underscores the film's exploration of how quickly acceptance can transform into alienation when confronted with the unfamiliar. As the hostility intensifies, Edward retreats further into isolation. The castle on the hill, once a symbol of mystery and solitude, becomes a fortress of loneliness and refuge. The film portrays this physical and emotional retreat with haunting beauty. The cold stone walls, the echoing halls, the sculpted ice that glistens under moonlight, contrasting sharply with the vibrant yet suffocating suburb below. This juxtaposition highlights themes of exile and longing, the painful cost of difference in a world unwilling to understand. The climax unfolds in a crescendo of emotional and narrative tension. A dramatic confrontation between Edward and the townspeople erupts, fueled by fear and fueled by the accumulated misunderstandings and resentment. The film does not shy away from portraying the raw intensity of this conflict, chaotic, tragic, and deeply human. Amidst the turmoil, Edward's vulnerability and courage shine through, revealing the enduring strength of his gentle spirit even as he faces rejection. A turning point occurs when Kim intervenes, standing between Edward and the angry crowd. Her courage and compassion contrast with the mob's fear, embodying the film's message about the power of empathy and acceptance. Yet even this moment of hope is tinged with melancholy, as the film acknowledges the harsh realities faced by those who defy social norms. The tension between love and fear reaches its peak, setting the stage for the story's bittersweet resolution. The resolution is poetic and poignant. Edward returns to his castle, a figure both triumphant in his artistry and tragic in his isolation. The film closes with images that linger, a frozen garden sculpted from ice, a hedge maze carved with exquisite care, symbols of beauty born from solitude and difference. Kim's distant silhouette watching from below suggests a connection that endures despite separation, a testament to the lasting impact of kindness and understanding. Throughout this segment, the film employs visual and auditory motifs to deepen emotional resonance. The interplay of light and shadow intensifies, colors shift to cooler, more muted tones, and the music swells with both sorrow and hope. These elements guide the audience through the emotional landscape, making the climax and resolution feel both inevitable and deeply affecting. Ultimately, the story's second half is a meditation on the fragility of acceptance and the resilience of the human spirit. It confronts the pain of rejection and the cruelty born of fear, while celebrating the transformative power of creativity and love. Through its richly drawn characters and evocative storytelling, the film leaves viewers with a profound reflection on what it means to be different, and the enduring hope that even in isolation, beauty and connection can be found. This unfolding narrative, with its mix of enchantment and tragedy, invites audiences to look beyond appearances, to embrace complexity, and to find compassion in unexpected places. It is a journey that resonates deeply, lingering in the heart long after the final frame, a timeless tale of innocence, alienation, and the longing to belong. In the heart of this cinematic fairy tale lies a cast of characters as vivid and compelling as the story they inhabit, each bringing layers of emotion, conflict, and symbolism that enrich the narrative's tapestry. To explore their depths is to understand not just the plot, but the profound themes of innocence, difference, love, and alienation that pulse beneath the surface. Every character, from the enigmatic protagonist to the suburban neighbors, serves as a mirror reflecting facets of humanity, its fears, desires, and contradictions. At the center stands the boy with scissors for hands, a figure of tragic beauty and poignant otherness. His very creation, an unfinished work of art, embodies the tension between possibility and limitation. With wild hair, pale skin, and delicate scissor blades in place of fingers, he is at once mesmerizing and vulnerable, a living metaphor for the fragile boundary between creativity and isolation. His character is defined by innocence and curiosity. Despite his unconventional form, he possesses a gentle spirit and an earnest longing for connection. His silence, a defining trait, is not merely a plot device but a window into his inner world. Through expressive eyes and subtle gestures, he communicates volumes, inviting viewers to look beyond words and into the realm of empathy. His inability to speak underscores themes of alienation, highlighting the barriers that difference can create in human interaction. Yet, his hands, tools of both art and potential harm, symbolize the dual nature of his existence, capable of creating breathtaking beauty and, when out of control, accidental destruction. The boy's journey is also a coming-of-age tale, marked by discovery and heartbreak. His interactions with the world reveal both the wonder and cruelty inherent in human society. His innocence invites tenderness, yet his difference provokes fear and misunderstanding. This duality forms the emotional core of the film, making his character a profound exploration of vulnerability and resilience. Peg, the kind-hearted Avon saleswoman who brings the boy into her world, represents compassion and the transformative power of acceptance. Her character is grounded in warmth and practicality, bridging the gap between the fantastical and the everyday. Through her eyes, viewers are introduced to the suburban milieu, and her courage in embracing the unknown sets the tone for the film's exploration of empathy. Peg's nurturing nature contrasts with the rigid conformity of the neighborhood, highlighting themes of kindness amidst uniformity. Kim, Peg's teenage daughter, is a character of youthful innocence and burgeoning awareness. Her relationship with the boy is tender and complex, marked by moments of friendship, fascination, and subtle romantic tension. Kim embodies the possibility of understanding and acceptance, seeing beyond outward difference to the gentle soul within. Her character also navigates the challenges of adolescence, identity, love, and social pressure, making her a relatable figure whose growth parallels the boy's own journey. Jim, Kim's boyfriend, serves as a foil to the boy's innocence. His character is marked by insecurity, jealousy, and aggression, embodying societal fear of the other. Jim's antagonism toward the boy is both personal and symbolic, reflecting broader themes of conformity and intolerance. His actions catalyze much of the neighborhood's escalating conflict, making him a pivotal figure in the narrative's tension. Yet, even in his hostility, there is a human complexity that speaks to the fragility of masculinity and the fear of displacement. The suburban neighbors collectively form a chorus of societal attitudes: curiosity, envy, suspicion, and ultimately rejection. Their uniform appearances and behaviors symbolize conformity and the pressure to adhere to social norms. The shifting dynamics within this community, from fascination with the boy's talents to fear and ostracism, illuminate the precariousness of acceptance. Each neighbor's reactions reveal facets of human nature, from kindness to cruelty, making the neighborhood a microcosm of society at large. The inventor, though appearing briefly, looms large symbolically. His creation of the boy is an act of love and artistry, but also one of tragic incompletion. He represents the archetype of the creator, whose ambitions give birth to beauty but also leave behind a legacy of isolation. His death leaves the boy orphaned and incomplete, setting the stage for the story's exploration of abandonment and the search for belonging. Visually, the characters are crafted with symbolic attention. The boy's gothic, almost ethereal appearance contrasts starkly with the bright pastel tones of the neighborhood, visually marking him as otherworldly. Costume and makeup reinforce character traits. Kim's youthful, vibrant wardrobe reflects her innocence and vitality, while Jim's more conventional style underscores his adherence to societal norms. Subtle physical gestures and facial expressions convey emotional states and relationships, deepening characterizations beyond dialogue. Each character's arc intertwines with the film's themes of difference and acceptance. The boy's trajectory, from curiosity and creativity to rejection and retreat, mirrors the broader societal patterns of embracing and then fearing the unfamiliar. Kim's growth reflects hope for understanding and change, while Jim's antagonism highlights the obstacles that prejudice erects. Peg's nurturing presence offers a beacon of compassion amid the encroaching darkness. The relationships among characters are rich with emotional nuance. The silent bond between the boy and Kim is tender and fraught, embodying the delicate possibilities of connection across divides. The tension between Jim and the boy embodies conflict between fear and empathy, difference and conformity. Interactions within the neighborhood reveal the complex social dance of inclusion and exclusion, admiration and envy. In sum, the characters serve as vessels through which the film explores profound questions about identity, belonging, and the human capacity for kindness and cruelty. Their multifaceted portrayals invite viewers to reflect on their own perceptions of difference and acceptance. Through the boy's gentle gaze and the neighborhood's shifting attitudes, the story becomes a mirror reflecting our deepest fears and hopes. This rich character tapestry elevates the film beyond a simple fairy tale into a timeless meditation on what it means to be human, to create, to love, to be seen, and to face rejection. Their journeys resonate with universal truths, making the story a poignant exploration of the fragile beauty that lies at the intersection of innocence and otherness. The making of this film is as enchanting and layered as the story itself, a tapestry woven with unexpected moments, quirky anecdotes, and behind-the-scenes tales that reveal the delicate dance between creativity and chaos on set. Beneath the polished fairy tale that graces the screen lies a world of peculiar details, challenges overcome, and spontaneous magic that shaped the film's unique charm and enduring legacy. To explore these strangest facts is to step behind the curtain and glimpse the human moments that breathe life into cinematic artistry. One of the most remarkable aspects of the production was the creation and design of the protagonist's iconic scissor hands. These weren't mere props but intricate works of craftsmanship, designed to be both visually striking and functionally challenging. The special effects team worked painstakingly to engineer blades that appeared sharp and delicate yet could be safely worn and operated by the lead actor. The scissor hands were heavy and unwieldy, and the actor had to undergo hours of practice to master their movement, often rehearsing choreography to ensure fluidity and grace despite the cumbersome design. This physical commitment added authenticity to his performance but also presented daily challenges, with scenes sometimes taking longer due to the difficulty of managing the props. A particularly strange and endearing anecdote involves the snow used in the climactic scenes. Unlike typical artificial snow, the production employed a biodegradable, environmentally friendly material that required careful handling. On the first day of shooting, the snow unexpectedly melted under the hot studio lights, forcing the crew to improvise. This led to multiple retakes and creative adjustments, with the director encouraging spontaneous moments that ultimately enriched the scene's ethereal quality. The snow's fragility became a metaphor for the film's themes of fleeting beauty and delicate emotions. The suburban set itself was a marvel of design but also a source of unusual experiences. Built on a studio lot, the pastel houses and manicured lawns were meticulously crafted to evoke a perfect, almost surreal neighborhood. However, this controlled environment also posed challenges. Wind machines designed to simulate gentle breezes occasionally caused props to scatter, and the rigid uniformity required careful camera angles to avoid monotony. Cast and crew often joked about the surreal nature of filming in such a sanitized world, likening it to living inside a dollhouse. This atmosphere contributed to the film's distinctive blend of whimsy and eeriness. Another fascinating behind-the-scenes story centers on the film's use of music and sound. The composer crafted a haunting melodic score that became integral to the film's emotional impact. During recording sessions, the director would sometimes play scenes on a monitor to guide musicians' interpretations, fostering a dynamic interplay between visual and auditory storytelling. One unusual moment occurred when a bird unexpectedly flew into the recording studio, causing a brief but memorable disruption that the team later laughed about as a sign of nature's approval. This spontaneous incident added a touch of serendipity to an already inspired collaboration. The lead actor's transformation into the protagonist involved hours of makeup and costume work daily. The pale complexion, dark eye makeup, and wild hair required a team of makeup artists working with precision and care. The actor has recounted stories of the long waits in the makeup chair, during which cast and crew would share stories and build camaraderie. Despite the discomfort, The ritual became a bonding experience, reinforcing the sense of becoming someone otherworldly. This physical transformation was crucial in creating the character's ethereal presence, allowing the actor to inhabit the role fully. The film's director brought a unique sensibility to the project, blending elements of gothic fantasy with suburban satire. His vision often led to unconventional approaches on set. For instance, he encouraged improvisation during key scenes, allowing actors to explore their characters' emotions spontaneously. This approach sometimes led to unexpected moments that were preserved in the final cut, adding layers of authenticity and surprise. The director's willingness to embrace the unpredictable nurtured an atmosphere of creative freedom balanced by meticulous planning. Several unusual occurrences during shooting contributed to the film's lore. On one occasion, a real cat wandered onto the set during a pivotal scene, prompting the cast and crew to incorporate the animal into the moment rather than shoo it away. This unplanned cameo added a whimsical touch that delighted the team. In another instance, weather conditions interrupted outdoor shoots, forcing rapid rescheduling and improvisation that tested the crew's flexibility and resolve. These challenges became part of the film's behind-the-scenes story, highlighting the unpredictability inherent in filmmaking. Trivia enthusiasts will find delight in the subtle nods and Easter eggs embedded throughout the film. For example, certain set decorations and props carry symbolic meanings or references to the director's other works, creating a connective thread for attentive viewers. The recurring motifs, such as birds, flowers, and the contrast between light and shadow, serve not only aesthetic purposes but also thematic resonance, enriching the narrative layers. These details reward repeated viewings and deepen appreciation for the film's artistry. The film's marketing and release were accompanied by unusual promotional strategies. Instead of relying solely on traditional trailers, the studio commissioned artistic posters and short experimental clips that emphasized the film's fairy tale quality and emotional depth. This approach distinguished the film in a crowded marketplace and attracted audiences seeking something both visually stunning and emotionally rich. The promotional campaign became a case study in balancing commercial appeal with artistic integrity. In sum, the strangest facts about the making of this film reveal a production imbued with passion, ingenuity, and serendipity. From the technical marvel of the Scissorhands to the spontaneous moments on set, from the carefully crafted suburban dreamscape to the playful interruptions that became part of the narrative fabric, these behind-the-scenes stories enrich our understanding and love of the film. They remind us that filmmaking is a magical blend of precision and unpredictability, where every challenge and quirk contributes to the creation of something enduring and unforgettable, a cinematic fairy tale that continues to enchant audiences around the world. The journey through this film is as much an exploration of its narrative as it is a deep dive into the rich tapestry of themes and emotions it evokes, an immersive experience where every scene invites not only storytelling but thoughtful reflection. From a critical perspective, the film unfolds as a layered meditation on difference, conformity, love, and loss, using its key events to challenge viewers' perceptions and evoke profound empathy. These moments are not isolated incidents but integral threads woven into a narrative that resonates deeply, both emotionally and thematically. One of the most pivotal events, the arrival of the boy with scissors for hands into the suburban neighborhood, serves as a catalyst for the film's exploration of otherness and acceptance. This moment introduces a clash between the fantastical and the mundane, between innocence and suspicion. Critically, this event is rich with symbolism. The stark contrast between the boy's gothic, unfinished form and the pastel uniformity of suburbia embodies societal tensions around difference. The neighborhood, with its manicured lawns and cookie-cutter houses, becomes a metaphor for conformity and the often fraught relationship between individuality and community. This event sets the stage for the unfolding drama, inviting audiences to consider how society responds to the unfamiliar and the extraordinary. The early scenes of Edward's creative expression, sculpting hedges into intricate shapes, carving ice into delicate forms, are critical not only for advancing the plot but for their thematic weight. These acts of artistry symbolize the transformative power of creativity and the potential for beauty to emerge from difference. Critics have noted how these moments challenge the boundaries of what is considered normal or acceptable, presenting Edward's talents as gifts rather than aberrations. This reframing invites viewers to question societal norms and the often narrow definitions of worth and belonging. The film's portrayal of community dynamics offers fertile ground for critical analysis. The neighbor's initial fascination gradually gives way to envy, fear, and ultimately rejection. This progression is depicted with nuance, avoiding caricature while highlighting the mechanisms of social exclusion. Moments such as gossip spreading like wildfire and the swift shift from admiration to ostracism reveal the fragile nature of acceptance and the ease with which fear can turn communal warmth into hostility. From a critical standpoint, these events reflect broader social commentaries on conformity, scapegoating, and the fear of the other, universal themes that transcend the film's specific setting. The evolving relationship between Edward and Kim is a focal point for emotional and thematic resonance. Their growing bond, marked by quiet gestures and unspoken understanding, embodies the film's meditation on love's capacity to bridge divides. Critics have praised this relationship for its subtlety and depth, seeing it as a poignant counterpoint to the surrounding hostility. It challenges conventional narratives by portraying love that is gentle, tentative, and profoundly human, rooted in acceptance rather than possession. This connection also foregrounds themes of vulnerability and the longing for connection that define the human experience. Jim's role as antagonist introduces tension and conflict that are crucial to the film's dramatic arc. His jealousy and aggression provide a mirror to societal fears and insecurities, embodying the threat posed by difference to established norms. The escalating rivalry between Jim and Edward serves as a microcosm of larger social conflicts, illustrating how fear can manifest in violence and exclusion. From a critical lens, Jim's character prompts reflection on the dynamics of power, masculinity, and social hierarchy, enriching the film's psychological and cultural complexity. The climactic confrontation, where Edward is accused and pursued by the townspeople, stands as a moment of high drama and thematic culmination. This event crystallizes the film's exploration of misunderstanding and fear, showing how quickly innocence can be vilified when confronted with the unfamiliar. The intensity of this scene, with its blend of chaos and tragedy, invites viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature and societal dynamics. It underscores the consequences of prejudice and the fragility of kindness in the face of fear. The resolution, with Edward's retreat to his castle and the enduring, if distant, connection with Kim, offers a bittersweet meditation on isolation and hope. This ending has been interpreted as both a lament for lost innocence and a testament to the enduring power of love and memory. The film's final images, sculpted ice, frozen gardens, serve as metaphors for beauty preserved amid loss, inviting contemplation on impermanence and the complexities of belonging. Visually and sonically, the film reinforces its thematic and emotional impact. The interplay of light and shadow throughout the narrative accentuates moments of hope and despair, while the evocative score weaves emotional threads that heighten tension and tenderness. Critics have highlighted how these cinematic techniques amplify the story's resonance, creating an immersive experience that engages viewers on multiple sensory and emotional levels. The film's reception reflects its layered complexity. Initial audience and critical responses ranged from enchantment with its visual and emotional poetry to discomfort with its darker undercurrents. Over time, its stature has grown, with scholars and fans alike recognizing its profound insights into human nature and society. The film has inspired discussions on themes of disability, difference, and societal acceptance, positioning it as a culturally significant work that continues to speak to contemporary issues. In essence, the film's major events serve not only as narrative milestones but as vessels for rich thematic exploration and emotional depth. Through its portrayal of difference, creativity, love, and rejection, it invites viewers into a reflective journey that challenges assumptions and evokes empathy. This layered storytelling, supported by evocative cinematic artistry, ensures its enduring place in the landscape of film as a work that moves, challenges, and inspires. By engaging critically with these key moments, we gain a deeper appreciation for the film's artistry and the universal truths it uncovers. It stands as a testament to the power of cinema to illuminate the complexities of the human condition, inviting us to look beyond appearances and embrace the delicate, often painful beauty of being truly seen. The making of this film is a story as enchanting and textured as the fairy tale it presents, a journey through creativity, challenge, and collaboration that shaped a cinematic masterpiece whose magic continues to captivate audiences decades later. Behind every frame lies a complex web of artistry, technical innovation, and human stories, revealing how imagination and dedication coalesce to bring a world of whimsy and wonder to life. To explore these production insights and fun facts is to step beyond the screen into the heart of filmmaking itself, where vision and reality intertwine in fascinating ways. From the outset, the film's director envisioned a project that blended gothic fantasy with suburban satire, a unique tonal balance that demanded inventive approaches at every stage. Pre-production was marked by extensive research and conceptual work, with designers and artists collaborating closely to craft the distinctive aesthetic. The goal was to create environments and characters that felt both otherworldly and relatable, immersing viewers in a world where the surreal and the mundane coexist seamlessly. This vision guided decisions about set design, costume, lighting, and visual effects, setting the tone for a production that was as much about atmosphere as narrative. One of the most iconic elements, the protagonist Scissorhands, required extraordinary craftsmanship and engineering. Special effects artists developed multiple versions of the Scissorhands, balancing visual impact with the actor's comfort and mobility. The blades had to appear sharp and delicate while being safe to wear and use during complex scenes. The lead actor underwent training to master the precise, graceful movements needed to animate these unusual appendages convincingly. This process involved choreography and extensive rehearsal, underscoring the physical demands of embodying such a unique character. The suburban set was another marvel of production design. Built on a sprawling studio lot, the pastel-colored houses, perfectly trimmed lawns, and uniform streets created a hyper-real environment that felt both inviting and uncanny. The set design team paid meticulous attention to detail, sourcing period-appropriate furnishings, decorations, and props that enhanced the satirical critique of suburban conformity. This constructed world became a living character in the film, its surreal perfection contrasting with the emotional turbulence beneath the surface. The crew often remarked on the eerie quiet of the set between takes, a silence that mirrored the film's themes of isolation amid sameness. Filming the outdoor scenes posed challenges, particularly when working with natural elements. Weather interruptions, shifting light conditions, and the logistics of managing large crowd scenes required flexibility and creativity from the director and crew. One memorable incident involved a sudden rainstorm that drenched the set during a critical sequence, prompting quick adjustments and impromptu reshoots. Rather than seeing the disruption as a setback, the team incorporated the rain's atmospheric effects into the scene, adding a layer of melancholy that enriched the narrative. The film's musical score, composed to capture both whimsy and poignancy, was integral to its emotional impact. Recording sessions were collaborative, with the director closely involved in shaping the tone and pacing of the music. Musicians experimented with unconventional instruments and motifs to evoke the story's fantastical elements and underlying sadness. The interplay between score and sound design created a sonic landscape that guided viewers through the film's shifting moods, from light-hearted wonder to quiet despair. The lead actor's transformation was a daily ritual of makeup and costume that required patience and precision. The pale complexion, dark eyeliner, and wild hair were essential to creating the character's ethereal presence, and the makeup artists developed a specialized routine to maintain consistency across long shooting schedules. Despite the discomfort of heavy makeup and cumbersome scissor hands, the actor embraced the process, viewing it as an essential part of becoming the character. These routines also fostered moments of bonding among the cast and crew, who shared stories and laughter in makeup chairs and dressing rooms. The director's approach to working with actors emphasized emotional truth and spontaneity. Known for encouraging improvisation and exploring character motivations deeply, he fostered a collaborative atmosphere where performers felt safe to experiment and find authentic moments. Several key scenes were enhanced by on-the-spot improvisations, which were captured and retained in the final cut. This openness contributed to the film's emotional richness and nuanced performances. Several behind-the-scenes anecdotes capture the production's human side. For instance, during a complex scene involving delicate ice sculptures, a slight mishap caused one sculpture to break prematurely, leading to a moment of genuine surprise that was embraced rather than discarded. Such instances of serendipity became part of the film's charm, illustrating how unplanned moments can enhance storytelling. Crew members also recall spontaneous celebrations after particularly challenging shoots, moments that reinforced camaraderie and shared purpose. The film's use of practical effects and in-camera techniques was notable in an era increasingly reliant on digital technology. Effects artists employed creative methods, miniatures, forced perspective, and carefully designed sets, to achieve visual magic without relying on computer-generated imagery. This hands-on approach contributed to the tactile quality of the film's world, making it feel more immediate and real. The blend of practical effects with subtle visual enhancements demonstrated a commitment to craftsmanship and authenticity. Marketing and promotion for the film embraced its unique blend of whimsy and melancholy. The campaign featured artistic posters, evocative trailers, and innovative partnerships that highlighted the film's fairy tale qualities while appealing to broader audiences. This strategy helped position the film as both a commercial success and an artistic statement, attracting viewers who appreciated its emotional depth and visual style. The film's enduring legacy is reflected in its continued influence on filmmakers, artists, and fans. Numerous homages, references, and inspired works attest to its impact, while ongoing discussions about its themes and artistry keep it vibrant in cultural conversations. Special edition releases, retrospectives, and behind-the-scenes documentaries have introduced new generations to the film's magic, ensuring its place in cinematic history. In essence, the production of this film was a delicate alchemy of vision, technical skill, and human collaboration. From the crafting of the iconic Scissorhands to the creation of a surreal suburban world, from the musical compositions that echo its emotional core to the spontaneous moments that enliven its scenes, every aspect reflects a profound dedication to storytelling. These behind-the-scenes insights and fun facts enrich our appreciation, reminding us that the magic on screen is born of countless moments of creativity, challenge, and connection, a testament to the enduring power of cinema to enchant and move us. The world of this film unfolds as a carefully crafted mosaic of contrasts, where every setting and cinematic choice breathes life into a narrative that oscillates between the fantastical and the painfully real. The very places where the story takes shape are not passive backdrops but active participants, reflecting and amplifying the emotional currents and thematic depths. From the gothic isolation of a snow-capped castle perched atop a lonely hill to the pastel-colored perfection of suburban streets bathed in sunlight, the film's settings create a visual language that speaks as powerfully as the dialogue. At the heart of this visual tapestry is the eerie, almost mythical mansion that crowns the film's landscape. This sprawling, angular castle, part Gothic fortress, part whimsical laboratory, is a monument to the story's themes of solitude, creation, and incompleteness. Its stone walls, sharp turrets, and frosted windows evoke both beauty and melancholy, a place where the protagonist's story begins and where his isolation is physically and symbolically anchored. The design of the castle reflects the character himself, majestic yet unfinished, intricate yet cold. The use of fog, shadow, and muted light around the mansion heightens its mysterious aura, creating an atmosphere thick with both enchantment and foreboding. In contrast, the suburban neighborhood that stretches below the hill is a study in uniformity and artificiality. Rows of identical houses, manicured lawns, and pastel facades form a kind of controlled environment where conformity reigns supreme. The bright, saturated colors, turquoise, pink, lemon yellow, are almost surreal in their perfection, lending the setting a dreamlike quality that borders on the uncanny. This palette not only visually distinguishes the neighborhood from the dark castle, but also serves as a metaphor for the suffocating sameness and hidden tensions within the community. The spatial arrangement between these two worlds, the imposing, solitary castle and the bustling, uniform suburb, creates a constant visual tension throughout the film. This geographic and aesthetic divide mirrors the emotional and social gap between the protagonist and the community he enters. Cinematography emphasizes this separation through framing and composition, often juxtaposing shots of the looming castle with the repetitive rows of houses below. The vastness of the landscape, captured through wide panoramic shots, underscores the protagonist's isolation even as he steps into the crowd. Inside the neighborhood, the film pays meticulous attention to detail in its set design. Each house is furnished with a blend of mid-century modern and kitsch elements, reflecting a curated ideal of domestic bliss that feels both nostalgic and slightly off-kilter. The interiors are bright and airy, filled with floral patterns, pastel appliances, and meticulously arranged knickknacks, creating a sanitized environment that contrasts sharply with the protagonist's raw and organic presence. This stylization amplifies the film's critique of suburban conformity and the superficial veneer of perfection. Cinematographers' use of light within these settings is masterful, shaping mood and tone with precision. The bright, even lighting of the neighborhood scenes suggests a world of order and clarity but also exposes the characters to scrutiny, heightening the sense of social pressure and vulnerability. Shadows are minimal here, reinforcing the absence of mystery but paradoxically creating an oppressive clarity where secrets and fears fester beneath the surface. In contrast, scenes set in and around the castle are bathed in soft, diffused light and shadow play, creating a more intimate and mysterious atmosphere that invites contemplation and empathy. Filming outdoor scenes brought its own set of surprises and obstacles. Weather was a constant variable, with unexpected rain and wind sometimes disrupting carefully planned shots. During one particularly challenging shoot, a sudden gust scattered props and decorations, forcing the crew to improvise quickly to maintain continuity. Rather than frustration, the incident sparked a burst of creative energy, with the director encouraging spontaneous adjustments that added a layer of authenticity and dynamism to the scene. These moments highlight the fluid nature of filmmaking, where adaptability and teamwork become essential. The interactions among cast members were marked by warmth and mutual respect, creating a supportive environment that enriched performances. The relationship between the lead actor and his co-stars evolved organically, with shared rehearsals and downtime fostering genuine friendships. Cast members have spoken about how this sense of community helped them navigate the emotional demands of the story, particularly during scenes requiring vulnerability or intensity. The director's open approach, encouraging improvisation and emotional exploration, contributed to a collaborative atmosphere where actors felt empowered to bring depth to their roles. One surprising anecdote involves a scene featuring the neighborhood's social gatherings. Coordinating hundreds of extras in choreographed movements required precise timing and communication. During one take, an unplanned interaction, a child's spontaneous laugh, was captured and kept in the final cut, adding a moment of real joy and innocence that contrasted with the film's darker themes. This blending of planned choreography and organic human moments became a hallmark of the production's authenticity. The film's score and sound design also benefited from collaborative creativity. During recording sessions, the composer and sound engineers experimented with unusual instruments and techniques to capture the film's whimsical yet melancholic tone. Anecdotes from the studio reveal moments of playful experimentation, with musicians trying out sounds inspired by the protagonist's Scissorhands and the ethereal atmosphere of the castle. These sessions were as much about discovery and fun as technical precision, underscoring the joy at the heart of the creative process. Challenges were abundant, from technical hurdles to balancing the film's tonal complexities. The director's insistence on blending fantasy with social commentary required careful negotiation between departments to maintain coherence. For instance, lighting had to shift seamlessly between the bright suburbia and the shadowed castle interiors, demanding innovative solutions from the cinematography team. Editors faced the task of pacing the narrative to balance whimsy and drama, ensuring that the emotional beats resonated without undermining the film's dreamlike quality. The production's ability to overcome these obstacles speaks to the dedication and ingenuity of everyone involved. Whether adapting to weather, refining special effects, or navigating the emotional nuances of performances, the cast and crew demonstrated resilience and a shared commitment to realizing the director's vision. Stories of late-night problem-solving sessions, impromptu celebrations, and collective moments of pride reveal a production that was as much about human connection as cinematic achievement. In the end, the behind-the-scenes journey mirrors the film's own themes of creativity, isolation, and connection. The challenges faced and friendships formed, the blend of meticulous planning and spontaneous magic, all contribute to a story that resonates on and off the screen. These insights deepen our appreciation of the film, reminding us that the magic we see is born from countless moments of collaboration, passion, and perseverance, a testament to the power of storytelling and the people who bring it to life. The making of this film is a tale as captivating as the story it tells, filled with moments of laughter, unexpected challenges, and a deep sense of camaraderie that blossomed amid the unique demands of bringing such an ethereal narrative to life. Behind the carefully crafted scenes, beyond the fairy tale glow and haunting music, the cast and crew navigated a production that was as much about human connection and creative collaboration as it was about technical mastery and artistic vision. Exploring these behind-the-scenes insights reveals the heart and soul that powered the film's magic. From the earliest days of pre-production, it was clear that this project would be unlike any other. The director's vision, a blend of gothic fantasy and suburban satire, required a production design and atmosphere that would transport audiences into a world both whimsical and unsettling. This ambition meant that every department had to push boundaries, innovating to realize the delicate balance of realism and fantasy. The set designers, for instance, were tasked with creating the iconic suburban neighborhood. Pastel houses lined up in perfect rows, each detail painstakingly planned to evoke a hyper-real environment. Crew members recall the surreal experience of filming in this artificial world, describing it as both beautiful and oddly claustrophobic, like stepping into a living dollhouse. One of the most memorable behind-the-scenes stories revolves around the creation of the protagonist Scissorhands. The special effects team designed multiple versions of the Scissorhands to accommodate different scenes, some lighter and more flexible for acting sequences, others heavier and more elaborate for close-ups. The lead actor had to master the art of moving with these cumbersome appendages, a challenge that required hours of practice and a remarkable physical commitment. On set, the actor developed unique ways of expressing emotion through the limited gestures his Scissorhands allowed, a testament to his dedication and creativity. The Scissorhands themselves became almost a character, inspiring awe and respect among the crew for the craftsmanship involved. The makeup and costume departments played a vital role in transforming the actor into the iconic figure of the film. The pale complexion, wild hair, and intricate costume required hours of preparation each day. Makeup artists recall the patience and resilience of the actor during these long sessions, often starting early in the morning and enduring several hours under the lights. This process, while taxing, fostered a strong bond between the actor and the makeup team, who became a source of support and encouragement throughout filming. Filming outdoor scenes brought its own set of surprises and obstacles. Weather was a constant variable, with unexpected rain and wind sometimes disrupting carefully planned shots. During one particularly challenging shoot, a sudden gust scattered props and decorations, forcing the crew to improvise quickly to maintain continuity. Rather than frustration, the incident sparked a burst of creative energy, with the director encouraging spontaneous adjustments that added a layer of authenticity and dynamism to the scene. These moments highlight the fluid nature of filmmaking, where adaptability and teamwork become essential. The interactions among cast members were marked by warmth and mutual respect, creating a supportive environment that enriched performances. The relationship between the lead actor and his co-stars evolved organically, with shared rehearsals and downtime fostering genuine friendships. Cast members have spoken about how this sense of community helped them navigate the emotional demands of the story, particularly during scenes requiring vulnerability or intensity. The director's open approach, encouraging improvisation and emotional exploration, contributed to a collaborative atmosphere where actors felt empowered to bring depth to their roles. One surprising anecdote involves a scene featuring the neighborhood's social gatherings. Coordinating hundreds of extras in choreographed movements required precise timing and communication. During one take, an unplanned interaction, a child's spontaneous laugh, was captured and kept in the final cut, adding a moment of real joy and innocence that contrasted with the film's darker themes. This blending of planned choreography and organic human moments became a hallmark of the production's authenticity. The film's score and sound design also benefited from collaborative creativity. During recording sessions, the composer and sound engineers experimented with unusual instruments and techniques to capture the film's whimsical yet melancholic tone. Anecdotes from the studio reveal moments of playful experimentation, with musicians trying out sounds inspired by the protagonist's scissorhands and the ethereal atmosphere of the castle. These sessions were as much about discovery and fun as technical precision, underscoring the joy at the heart of the creative process. Challenges were abundant, from technical hurdles to balancing the film's tonal complexities. The director's insistence on blending fantasy with social commentary required careful negotiation between departments to maintain coherence. For instance, lighting had to shift seamlessly between the bright suburbia and the shadowed castle interiors, demanding innovative solutions from the cinematography team. Editors faced the task of pacing the narrative to balance whimsy and drama, ensuring that the emotional beats resonated without undermining the film's dreamlike quality. The production's ability to overcome these obstacles speaks to the dedication and ingenuity of everyone involved. Whether adapting to weather, refining special effects, or navigating the emotional nuances of performances, the cast and crew demonstrated resilience and a shared commitment to realizing the director's vision. Stories of late-night problem-solving sessions, impromptu celebrations, and collective moments of pride reveal a production that was as much about human connection as cinematic achievement. In the end, the behind-the-scenes journey mirrors the film's own themes of creativity, isolation, and connection. The challenges faced and friendships formed, the blend of meticulous planning and spontaneous magic, all contribute to a story that resonates on and off the screen. These insights deepen our appreciation of the film, reminding us that the magic we see is born from countless moments of collaboration, passion, and perseverance, a testament to the power of storytelling and the people who bring it to life. The making of this film was a journey filled with moments as magical and unexpected as the story itself, a tale not only of cinematic artistry but of human connection, creativity, and perseverance behind the scenes. From the earliest days of pre-production through to the final cut, the cast and crew found themselves navigating a landscape as whimsical and challenging as the fantastical world they sought to bring to life. The layers of collaboration, ingenuity, and sheer determination that shaped this film reveal a rich narrative beyond the frame, filled with anecdotes that illuminate the heart and soul behind the camera. At the very core of the production was a director whose vision melded gothic fantasy with suburban satire, demanding a delicate balance between light and shadow, whimsy and melancholy. From the outset, his approach was to foster a creative atmosphere where actors and crew felt empowered to explore and experiment. This open yet disciplined environment allowed for moments of spontaneous magic, where improvisations and unplanned interactions were not just welcomed but cherished. Cast members have spoken of how this trust enabled them to delve deeply into their characters, bringing authenticity and nuance that elevated the film's emotional resonance. One of the most iconic and challenging elements to realize was the protagonist's scissorhands, both a physical challenge for the lead actor and a technical marvel for the special effects team. Crafting these hands involved a combination of intricate metalwork and practical engineering. Multiple pairs were created, each tailored for different scenes, balancing aesthetics with the actor's ability to perform. The lead actor undertook rigorous training to master movement and expressiveness despite the cumbersome and potentially hazardous nature of the props. Behind the scenes, the dedication to making these scissorhands believable was palpable, with safety protocols strictly observed but creative solutions continually sought to maintain fluidity and grace. Daily makeup and costume sessions were an endurance test and bonding ritual for the actor. Transforming into the ethereal figure required hours of meticulous work, pale foundation, dark eyeliner, and carefully styled wild hair, all contributing to the hauntingly beautiful yet fragile visage of the character. Makeup artists recall the camaraderie that developed during these sessions, with the actor sharing stories, humor, and reflections that deepened the sense of community on set. Despite the physical discomfort, this transformation became a daily journey into the character's world, forging a strong connection between performer and persona. The suburban set, with its pastel houses and manicured lawns, was a marvel of production design but also a source of unexpected challenges. Constructed on a studio lot, the artificial environment required constant adjustment to accommodate lighting changes and camera movement. Crew members described the surreal experience of filming in this perfect yet unnatural world, like stepping into a living painting. Managing continuity was a complex task, as the uniformity meant that any deviation could break the illusion. The art department worked tirelessly to maintain this meticulous aesthetic, with small details like precisely placed lawn ornaments and consistent window dressings adding layers of authenticity. Weather played an unpredictable role during outdoor shoots. On more than one occasion, sudden rainstorms interrupted filming, forcing rapid rescheduling and creative problem-solving. One memorable incident involved a heavy downpour that flooded parts of the set just before a key scene. Instead of delaying, the director and crew adapted, using the rain to enhance the scene's mood, capturing an unexpected layer of melancholy and realism. These moments exemplify the fluidity required in filmmaking, where challenges become opportunities for artistic growth. Interactions among cast and crew were characterized by warmth and mutual respect, creating a supportive environment amid the pressures of production. The ensemble forged friendships that extended beyond the set, sharing meals, stories, and laughter that lightened long, demanding days. Rehearsals were spaces for exploration and trust-building, allowing actors to find new dimensions in their roles. The director's inclusive style fostered open communication, encouraging feedback and collaboration that enriched performances and narrative depth. Behind the scenes, technical departments worked in tandem to overcome logistical and creative hurdles. The cinematography team faced the challenge of balancing the film's contrasting worlds, the dark, shadowed castle and the brightly lit suburbia, crafting lighting schemes that conveyed mood without sacrificing clarity. Innovative camera rigs and lighting setups were employed to achieve fluid movement and nuanced textures. Editors labored to weave together the visual and emotional threads, ensuring pacing that allowed both whimsy and tension to breathe. The musical score and sound design were developed through a close-knit collaboration between composer, director, and sound engineers. Recording sessions were laboratories of experimentation, where traditional instruments met unconventional sounds inspired by the film's unique aesthetic. Anecdotes from these sessions include playful moments where musicians improvised in response to visual cues, creating a dynamic interplay that enriched the film's auditory landscape. Several fun and surprising moments punctuated the production. During one outdoor scene, a stray cat wandered into the frame, its natural curiosity adding an unplanned charm that the director chose to keep. On another occasion, an elaborate ice sculpture accidentally melted faster than expected under studio lights, prompting a spontaneous rewrite of the scene that introduced a new emotional nuance. Such serendipitous occurrences highlight the unpredictability of filmmaking and the creative flexibility of the team. The cast and crew also faced emotional challenges, particularly in scenes requiring vulnerability or physical strain. Support systems were in place, with cast members encouraging each other and crew providing logistical and emotional support. These bonds were vital in maintaining morale and focus, turning challenges into shared triumphs. In reflecting on the production, many describe it as a unique blend of rigorous professionalism and heartfelt artistry. The melding of precise technical execution with spontaneous creative energy created a film that feels alive and resonant. The behind-the-scenes stories reveal a process marked by dedication, collaboration, and the joyful pursuit of storytelling that transcends the ordinary. Ultimately, these insights into the making of the film deepen our appreciation for its enduring magic. They remind us that every frame on screen is the result of countless moments of human effort, ingenuity, and passion, a testament to the transformative power of cinema and the remarkable people who bring dreams to life. The film unfolds as a poetic meditation on the interplay between innocence and alienation, beauty and otherness, conformity and individuality, a delicate dance that pulses beneath its fairy tale surface, weaving themes and symbolism into a richly layered narrative tapestry. At its heart lies an exploration of what it means to be human, to belong, and to create amidst a world that often fears difference. To delve into these themes is to journey beyond the visible, into the symbolic language that imbues every frame with emotional and philosophical depth. One of the most resonant themes is that of isolation, both physical and emotional, which is embodied in the protagonist's very being. Created by an inventor yet left unfinished, the boy with scissors for hands is a living paradox, gifted and vulnerable, beautiful and incomplete. His isolation is not merely a circumstance but a profound existential condition, reflected in his Gothic castle perched apart from the orderly suburb below. This separation symbolizes the chasm between those who are seen as different and the conforming masses. His inability to fully connect, exacerbated by his unusual hands, becomes a metaphor for the human experience of longing and the barriers that separate us from others. The film's portrayal of innocence is intertwined with this isolation. Despite his outward strangeness, the protagonist embodies purity, creativity, and gentle curiosity. His artistic talents, sculpting hedges, carving ice, are acts of self-expression that contrast with the rigid conformity of the suburban world. This innocence is fragile, a delicate bloom in a harsh environment. The narrative traces how innocence can be both a source of wonder and vulnerability, inviting empathy yet exposing one to cruelty. This theme resonates universally, reminding viewers of the preciousness and peril of being true to oneself in an often unkind world. Conformity versus individuality is a pervasive tension that shapes the film's social landscape. The pastel suburb represents a society obsessed with uniformity, where deviation is met with suspicion or hostility. The neighborhood's aesthetic, the identical houses, synchronized routines, and carefully curated appearances, serves as a visual metaphor for societal pressures to fit in. Against this backdrop, the protagonist's uniqueness becomes a disruptive force, challenging the community's boundaries. This theme invites reflection on the costs of conformity and the courage required to embrace difference. Love and acceptance emerge as redemptive themes that counterbalance isolation and fear. The tender relationship between the protagonist and Kim symbolizes the possibility of connection beyond superficial appearances. Their bond is marked by mutual understanding, unspoken affection, and the transformative power of empathy. This relationship becomes a beacon of hope within the narrative, illustrating that acceptance can transcend societal barriers. Yet, it also carries an undercurrent of fragility, acknowledging the challenges and limitations imposed by external judgment. Fear and prejudice, as social forces, are critically examined through the community's shifting attitudes. The initial fascination with the protagonist's talents gives way to envy, misunderstanding, and ultimately rejection. This progression reflects how fear of the unknown can fuel exclusion and violence. The film critiques these dynamics with nuance, revealing the fragility of social acceptance and the ease with which kindness can unravel. This theme resonates as a broader commentary on human nature and societal behavior. Symbolism enriches these themes, infusing the film's imagery and narrative with layered meaning. The Scissorhands themselves are a potent symbol, tools of creation and potential harm, representing the dual nature of difference as both gift and curse. Their sharpness embodies the tension between beauty and danger, intimacy and isolation. The protagonist's struggle to control these hands mirrors the human challenge of managing one's unique traits in a world that may not understand them. The contrasting settings, the dark, gothic castle and the bright, pastel suburb, function as symbolic spaces. The castle represents solitude, mystery, and the realm of the creative and unknown. Its towering presence and shadowed interiors evoke themes of isolation and the inner world of the protagonist. The suburb, with its uniformity and bright light, symbolizes societal expectations, conformity, and superficial harmony. The spatial divide between these locations underscores the narrative's central conflicts and emotional tensions. Nature motifs recur throughout the film as symbols of transformation and impermanence. The meticulously sculpted hedges and fragile ice creations crafted by the protagonist reflect the beauty and transience of life and relationships. Their eventual decay or destruction symbolizes the fragility of acceptance and the inevitable passage of time. These natural elements evoke a sense of melancholy and reflection, deepening the film's emotional impact. The use of light and shadow carries symbolic weight. Scenes illuminated with soft, diffused light often accompany moments of innocence and connection, while shadows envelop scenes of fear, misunderstanding, or internal conflict. This chiaroscuro technique visually articulates the dualities at play: hope and despair, clarity and confusion, visibility and concealment. It invites viewers to contemplate the complexities beneath surface appearances. Colors are carefully employed to underscore thematic contrasts. The suburb's pastel palette suggests artificiality and controlled beauty, while the darker, muted tones of the castle evoke authenticity and depth. The interplay of warm and cool colors tracks emotional shifts, reinforcing the narrative's emotional rhythms and symbolic meanings. Character interactions further embody thematic concerns. The protagonist's silent communication highlights themes of expression beyond words, inviting empathy through gestures and presence. Kim's openness contrasts with the neighborhood's suspicion, representing hope for change. Jim's hostility personifies fear of difference, and the neighbors' collective behavior illustrates societal dynamics of inclusion and exclusion. Ultimately, the film's themes and symbolism weave a rich, evocative tapestry that transcends its fairy tale narrative to explore fundamental human experiences. It invites viewers to reflect on the nature of difference, the yearning for connection, and the societal forces that shape acceptance and rejection. Through its poetic imagery and emotional depth, the film becomes a timeless meditation on beauty, otherness, and the fragile courage required to be seen and loved. This profound thematic layering ensures the story's enduring resonance, offering new insights with each viewing. It stands as a cinematic poem that speaks to the heart's deepest longings and fears, a visual and emotional journey into the delicate balance of light and shadow that defines the human condition. The creation of this film was a masterclass in cinematic artistry, a symphony of visual and auditory elements harmonized to transport audiences into a world that is at once fantastical and deeply human. Every frame, every note, every shadow and light interplay was meticulously crafted, a testament to the filmmaker's dedication to storytelling that engages not only the eyes but the heart and mind. To explore the filmmaking techniques and the film's journey through box office production is to uncover the layers of craft that gave shape to its enduring magic and emotional resonance. At the foundation of the film's immersive atmosphere lies its cinematography, a rich tapestry of light, color, and movement that brings the story's dual worlds, the ethereal castle and the pastel suburb, to vivid life. The director of photography employed a versatile palette of techniques, blending sweeping wide shots that capture the expanse and isolation of the castle with intimate close-ups that reveal the protagonist's tender expressions. The use of wide-angle lenses in suburban scenes accentuates the repetitive uniformity of the neighborhood, emphasizing themes of conformity and alienation, while softer focus and diffused lighting within the castle create a dreamlike, otherworldly ambience. Lighting was a central tool in shaping mood and tone. The interplay of chiaroscuro, contrasts between light and shadow, evokes the story's emotional complexity. Bright, even lighting bathes the suburban streets in a veneer of perfection, while deeper shadows and muted hues envelop the castle, underscoring its mystery and solitude. The cinematographer's careful control of natural and artificial light crafts spaces that are at times warm and inviting, at others cold and isolating, mirroring the protagonist's internal journey. Camera movement adds another layer of storytelling nuance. Smooth tracking shots glide through the manicured streets, creating a sense of order and rhythm, while handheld cameras are occasionally employed during moments of tension to introduce immediacy and emotional intensity. The contrast between fluid, composed shots and jittery, unstable ones reflects the narrative's oscillation between harmony and chaos. Low-angle shots amplify the protagonist's vulnerability or majesty depending on context, while tight framing during intimate scenes draws viewers into personal emotional spaces. The film's editing balances pacing and emotional flow, weaving together the whimsical and the tragic with delicate precision. The editors use a rhythm that allows moments of visual poetry and silence to breathe, punctuated by sequences of dynamic movement and dialogue. Cross-cutting between the castle and suburb heightens narrative tension and thematic contrast, while longer takes in key scenes encourage emotional immersion. The editing also employs visual motifs, repeated images of snow, scissors, or hedges, that create symbolic resonance and narrative cohesion. Sound design and musical score are integral to the film's immersive experience. The soundscape layers ambient noises, the rustle of leaves, distant chatter, the subtle hum of suburban life, with intimate sounds like the soft scrape of scissors through hair or ice. This auditory texture grounds the fantasy elements in realism and emotional subtlety. Silence is used strategically to heighten suspense or underscore emotional weight, allowing viewers space to connect with the characters' inner worlds. The musical score blends classical orchestration with whimsical, sometimes haunting melodies. Composed to reflect the film's tonal dualities, the music shifts fluidly between light-hearted themes that evoke innocence and wonder, and somber motifs that underscore isolation and loss. The composer's use of leitmotifs associates specific musical phrases with characters or ideas, reinforcing narrative threads and emotional arcs. Live recording sessions, often synchronized with visual playback, fostered a dynamic interplay between music and imagery that deepened the film's poetic quality. Production design and art direction create a richly detailed world that is both stylized and evocative. The suburban set's pastel color palette and meticulous detail form a hyper-real environment that critiques conformity while enchanting the viewer. Contrasting this, the castle's Gothic architecture, textured surfaces, and muted tones create a space of solitude and creativity. The juxtaposition of these settings visually encodes thematic tensions and emotional states, allowing the environment to act as a narrative agent. Costume design contributes significantly to character and mood. The protagonist's costume, dark, intricate, with leather and metal details, visually separates him from the brightly colored, simple garments of the suburban residents. This sartorial contrast reinforces themes of otherness and isolation. Costume changes track character development and social dynamics, with subtle shifts in color and style mirroring emotional shifts. Special effects blend practical craftsmanship with subtle visual enhancements. The iconic Scissorhands, created through metalwork and prosthetics, required careful choreography and safety measures. Practical effects were favored over digital, lending the film a tactile authenticity. Effects such as the intricate hedge sculptures and ice carvings were created physically, adding texture and realism that digital effects might lack. Visual effects were employed sparingly but effectively to enhance scenes, like the delicate snowfall, that contributed to atmosphere without overwhelming the story. Box office production and marketing embraced the film's unique identity as both a fantastical fairy tale and a poignant drama. Campaigns highlighted the film's visual poetry, emotional depth, and distinctive style, appealing to diverse audiences seeking more than conventional entertainment. The film's success at the box office reflected this careful positioning, supported by positive critical reception and word-of-mouth enthusiasm. The synergy of these filmmaking techniques, cinematography, lighting, editing, sound, design, and effects, crafts a cinematic experience that is immersive, emotionally resonant, and visually stunning. Together, they create a mood that oscillates between enchantment and melancholy, joy and sorrow, isolation and connection, drawing viewers into a story that feels both intimate and epic. In essence, the film stands as a testament to the power of cinematic craft to transform narrative into lived experience. Every technical choice supports the emotional and thematic core, allowing viewers not merely to watch a story but to feel its pulse. This harmonious blend of artistry and technology ensures the film's place as a timeless classic, one that continues to enchant, move, and inspire across generations. The life of this film extends far beyond its opening credits, woven through the voices and experiences of those who breathed life into it, the cast who embodied its characters with nuance and depth, the interviews that peel back the layers of creative intent and personal reflection, and the audience whose varied responses have shaped its legacy. Exploring these interconnected perspectives reveals a vibrant ecosystem of storytelling, where performance, interpretation, and reception intertwine to keep the film alive and resonant. At the heart of the film's emotional power is its lead actor, whose portrayal of the boy with scissors for hands is both haunting and tender. In interviews, he has spoken candidly about the challenges and rewards of inhabiting such a unique and physically demanding role. The Scissorhands, while visually iconic, presented practical hurdles, limiting gestures, complicating movement, that required a deep well of creativity and physical discipline. Yet beyond the technical, the actor embraced the character's profound vulnerability and innocence, seeking to convey a silent emotional language through subtle expressions and body language. His reflections reveal a thoughtful approach to embodying otherness and the universal longing for connection. Co-stars have often remarked on the actor's professionalism and generosity on set. Their interviews highlight the collaborative spirit that permeated the production, with the lead actor encouraging improvisation and emotional exploration. This openness fostered authentic chemistry, particularly between the protagonist and the actress portraying Kim. Her own reflections reveal the delicate balance of portraying youthful innocence and emerging complexity, navigating a relationship marked by unspoken affection and social tension. Together, their performances anchor the film's emotional core, inviting audiences into a nuanced portrayal of love that transcends words. The supporting cast brought richness and texture to the neighborhood's social tapestry. Actors portraying neighbors, family members, and antagonists shared insights into the dynamics of their characters and the broader societal themes. Many emphasized the film's critique of conformity and fear of difference, seeing their roles as both cautionary and empathetic. Interviews reveal how they approached scenes of gossip, suspicion, and conflict with an awareness of their symbolic significance, adding layers of meaning that extend beyond the immediate narrative. Behind the camera, the director's voice offers crucial context for understanding the film's artistic vision and thematic ambitions. In interviews, he speaks with passion about blending fantasy and social commentary, seeking to create a cinematic fairy tale that resonates emotionally while provoking reflection. His approach emphasized collaboration, emotional truth, and visual storytelling, allowing actors and crew to contribute ideas and shape the film's distinctive tone. The director's candid reflections on challenges, balancing whimsy with darkness, navigating production hurdles, and engaging audiences, illuminate the film's creative journey. The composer and cinematographer also provide valuable perspectives on the film's sensory landscape. Discussions of the musical score reveal a deliberate crafting of themes that evoke innocence, mystery, and melancholy, supporting the narrative's emotional arc. The cinematographer's insights into lighting, framing, and camera movement illuminate how visual techniques were employed to create mood and symbolism, enhancing viewers' immersion. These creative dialogues deepen appreciation for the film's artistry and the intricate interplay of sound and image. Audience reception has been a dynamic and evolving conversation. Upon release, the film captivated viewers with its visual beauty and emotional depth, quickly gaining a devoted following. Initial reviews praised its poetic storytelling and striking aesthetic, though some critics noted its tonal contrasts and narrative ambiguity. Over time, the film's stature grew, becoming a beloved classic celebrated for its originality and emotional resonance. Audience testimonials highlight personal connections. Viewers who saw in the story reflections of their own experiences with difference, isolation, and longing. Fan communities and scholarly discourse have further enriched the film's legacy. Online forums and social media are filled with passionate analyses, artistic homages, and heartfelt discussions that attest to the story's enduring relevance. Academic work explores its themes of identity, otherness, and social critique, situating the film within broader cultural and cinematic contexts. These conversations demonstrate how the film continues to inspire dialogue and interpretation across generations. Screenings and special events have revived and expanded the film's audience, introducing it to new viewers and fostering communal experiences. Cast reunions, director talks, and retrospective exhibitions celebrate the film's impact, creating shared spaces for appreciation and reflection. These gatherings reveal the film's power to connect people not only through narrative but through collective memory and emotion. In sum, the cast's heartfelt performances, the creative team's visionary artistry, and the audience's passionate engagement form a living constellation that sustains the film's life beyond its original release. Their voices, through interviews, reflections, critiques, and celebrations, create a dynamic, ongoing dialogue that transforms the film from a static work into a vibrant cultural phenomenon. This rich interplay of creation and reception underscores cinema's unique power to touch hearts, provoke thought, and build community. The film stands as a testament to the collaborative spirit of filmmaking and the profound connections stories forge between artist and audience. Through their shared journey, the cast, crew, and viewers together have crafted a legacy that continues to enchant, challenge, and inspire. The journey we've embarked upon through this film has been nothing short of a mesmerizing voyage, a delicate unfolding of layers that reveal the heart and soul of a story both timeless and deeply human. From the very first frame, where the haunting silhouette of a lonely castle sets the tone for a world steeped in fantasy and melancholy, to the tender yet tragic encounters that define its characters, we have witnessed a narrative that dances gracefully between enchantment and reality. The film invites us to reflect on themes of difference, belonging, love, and loss, woven together with a visual and emotional poetry that lingers long after the screen fades to black. We began by stepping into the film's richly imagined settings, where the stark contrast between the Gothic isolation of the castle and the pastel uniformity of the suburb speaks volumes about the divide between the self and society, between the strange and the familiar. The meticulous production design, vibrant color palettes, and evocative cinematography crafted worlds that are at once surreal and deeply relatable, immersing us in a sensory experience that echoes the protagonist's internal struggles. Our exploration of the plot traced the poignant arc of a boy who, born of creativity and incompletion, ventures into a world that both marvels at and fears his uniqueness. His journey through wonder, acceptance, misunderstanding, and eventual isolation reflects universal truths about the human condition: the yearning to connect, the pain of rejection, and the fragile beauty of innocence. This narrative, woven with moments of whimsy and sorrow, invites us to see beyond appearances and embrace the complexities of identity and love. Delving into character analysis, we uncovered the profound humanity embedded within each figure. The protagonist's silent vulnerability, Kim's youthful openness, Jim's conflicted antagonism, and the neighborhood's shifting dynamics collectively paint a portrait of society's ambivalence toward difference. Their interactions illuminate themes of empathy, fear, and the courage required to be oneself in a world that often demands conformity. Behind the scenes, we discovered a production filled with dedication, innovation, and moments of serendipity. The craftsmanship involved in creating the iconic Scissorhands, the challenges of filming in a stylized suburban landscape, and the collaborative spirit among cast and crew all contributed to the film's enduring magic. These stories remind us that filmmaking is a deeply human endeavor, where passion and perseverance transform vision into reality. The film's themes and symbolism offer a rich tapestry of meaning, from the metaphorical weight of the Scissorhands to the symbolic significance of the contrasting settings, light and shadow, and natural motifs. These elements deepen our understanding of the narrative, inviting reflection on societal norms, the nature of creativity, and the fragile dance between isolation and connection. The filmmaking techniques, cinematography, lighting, editing, sound design, and music, worked in harmony to create an atmosphere that is immersive and emotionally resonant. Their interplay shaped the viewer's experience, guiding us through a world that is enchanting yet fraught with tension, joyful yet tinged with sorrow. This artistry elevates the film beyond mere storytelling into the realm of cinematic poetry. The voices of the cast, director, and audience form a living dialogue that sustains the film's legacy. Their insights, reflections, and passionate engagement reveal the film's impact across time and culture. From heartfelt interviews to scholarly analyses and fan tributes, this ongoing conversation enriches our appreciation and keeps the film vibrant in the collective imagination.